I rewatched the Juventus game. We're going to take a deeper look at that and, of course, talk ahead of the Konyaspor game. But before we start, I wish everyone a peaceful and happy Ramadan. Let's start with the Juventus game. First of all, I think after rewatching it that we were clearly the best team in both halves. I thought in the first half that the game was even, but not really. Galatasaray was far the better team. And before someone is saying, yeah, but this Juventus lost 3-0 against Atalanta, you know what? In that Atalanta game, Juventus was actually the better team, hitting the post. And look at these stats, for example, touches in the opposition box. Juventus against Atalanta, in their favor, they had 34, while Atalanta had 19. I think that's a very important stat to look at. In our first half against Juventus, we had 21 touches in Juventus box, while Juventus had 7. In total, we had 45, while Juventus had 13. So it was not the same game as, for example, the Atalanta game. Let's look at some clips I took from the game. The formation Juventus used was a 4-1-4-1 without the ball, where Locatelli was their defensive midfielder. Their defense was very scared of the space behind them because of Osimhen and Baris. McKennie even said it before the game in the interview that Baris is a very dangerous player. And that's nothing like, McKennie doesn't look alone at our games. I think this is something probably Spalletti was very aware of, with, of course, rightfully to be so. But to give away these kind of spaces, especially look at the space between their midfielders and their defense. It doesn't help that Locatelli is there alone, because what Galatasaray answered it with was to put Sallai in to help Yunus in the final third there. And look how much space it is to give Baris the ball in his feet. And the thing is, okay, you don't give space behind the defense, but if Baris gets it in his feet and can dribble and take the ball up with him 1-1 with Cambiasso, then there is danger straight away. We talked about it before the game in my analyze that, for example, Thuram on his side, that he's not the best in the tight spaces when it comes to tracking back, following man. So we were able to always create that 2-1, 3-2. We were always overload when we were attacking. Look, for example, here, Davinson Sanchez finding Yunus easily. The space he got was just ridiculously huge, but we need to give credit to our players and what Okanoja did, because Sallai went inside, made chaos for Juventus. How good we were with the ball, especially Gabriel Sara and Davinson Sanchez. Gabriel Sara had some magical passes in that between the lines, where he found Yunus a lot, Osimhen, Sallai, but of course Uğurcan Çakır. I would talk about that also. And as you see here, Gabriel Sara finding Yunus Akgün here. And the thing is as well, that look at the side Yunus is at. It is on Kelly's side. Kelly, we all know that he's very good with the ball, but defensively he is not the best. Bremer is the other kind of type. He's not the best with the ball, but he's very good in offensive marking, duels. But Kelly is the opposite of that. He's not the strongest defensively. So we try to overload there as well with Sallai and Yunus. And of course Cambiasso, who was their weaker point defensively. They just gave so much space away. But look here, for example, when Uğurcan Çakır got the ball, playing it to Jakobs here, he can just take the ball up with him, and their whole team needs to track back. And look at Sallai on the right side. how he went inside to help the midfielders and to overload in the final third there. It was a genius thing to do by Galatasaray and Okan Hoxha. Here as well, you see Sallai, this is Sallai in the circle here where Uğurcan Çakır is finding Sallai, and Uğurcan Çakır's his feet has really surprised me, and that was a huge difference between Juventus goalkeeper and our goalkeeper. That Uğurcan Çakır really was that deep playmaker in our team, and really it was a day and night in the difference with his feet, and how he just finds players in the final third when not the ball in the air, on the ground. It's just unbelievable. I never seen a goalkeeper pass like that, to be honest. So as you see here, Sallai coming inside at Kelly's side again. It's just Galatasaray did so many good things there. And when you look at how Galatasaray, for example, was in their formation, you see the difference there. Yes, this was not a counter actually, but we got played out easily. But look how Sanchez is close to Kenan Yildiz here, and how our midfielders and defenders are very tight, as you should be. The other thing that Galatasaray was really much better than Juventus on was the second balls. We won almost every second ball. And that's not only to do with, wanting it more or running more or, what should I say, reading the game. It is about how your team as a whole unit is compared to Juventus. And our team was much closer to each other when the long ball came, reacted quicker. So we just dominated from the first minute to this last minutes. But again, it was 2-1 to halftime. In moments, Juventus were good, and that's the thing as well. When we scored a 1-0 goal, I would talk about Osimhen later. What disappointed me the most with Juventus 1-1 goal, where Cambiasso is crossing it to Kalulu, their right back, is that we knew it. Juventus are always doing this, that they are attacking straight from kickoffs. And yes, Baris is getting dragged, getting driven past easily by Cambiasso. Okay, but that shouldn't mean that that Cambiasso can just force the ball with him against Davinson Sanchez. Where are our midfielders there? So I'm a bit disappointed with that, because that's something we should be very aware of when the right back is coming on the cross there, because they're attacking straight away. But I think that's more about concentration, because it's right after the goal that our concentration was a bit off. Juventus' second goal was, of course, from Torreira tried to find Yunus Akgün, and Davinson Sanchez coming out a bit late. We will talk about Yunus Akgün as well. But let's talk about some players. Sallai. What a game he had. Sallai did not let Kenan Yildiz breathe whatsoever. Spalletti changed with him and McKennie. So Kenan played as a forward and McKennie as a winger. Who ever played against Sallai, they didn't have a chance. Look here, Sallai is behind McKennie, and he is, of course, winning it. It is just incredible how many times he did it in their offensive marking. And I need to give creds to the team, because the pressure on the Juventus players who got the ball was just amazing. So it, of course, made the life easier for our defenders to go in that high pressure. But at the same time, what Sallai did, especially Sallai, I want to highlight that because he was, if I need to choose from my heart, he was the man of the match for me because he won the ball so many times and just was amazing in that high pressure. But the player who actually was the man of the match was Gabriel Sara. Look here, Noah Lang, we know that Gabriel Sara is running a lot, and I have seen people are saying that yeah, he's running a lot, but most of it is because he's taking set pieces and he needs to run to the corner flags. I heard that, but how? This is the things you don't see with Sara, or don't necessarily notice when you're looking at the game, but looking at his work rate and how much he runs, look at the difference here. Noah Lang is the player with the arrow who is pressing here, the Juventus player. He's going out from his man Kalulu because he wants to try to win the ball. Look at the space Kalulu now got, and who is on Kalulu? It's no one. But Gabriel Sara reacts quickly and wins the ball. If Kalulu had got the ball there, it would have been a huge counter-attack. And this is not the only thing Gabriel Sara did in the game. I just want to show some other perspectives because probably everyone has seen the highlights of the game and how amazing Gabriel Sara was with the ball, finding Yunus, finding Sallai, Osimhen. He was just amazing, but defensively in these types of situations, he was amazing. And it was crosses where he blocked. He was just everywhere on the field. And I'm so happy for Gabriel Sara because when he transferred to us, his dream was to play in the Champions League. That was his huge dream. And of course, play for the national team, the Brazilian national team. But to come in there, you need to do it well in the Champions League if you are playing in Turkey. In the beginning of the Champions League run, Gabriel Sara was much in and out of the team. You know, he started against Ajax and gets subbed out after halftime. Didn't play along so much against Liverpool, Frankfurt. You know, it was really a heartbreak for him, I think. So to finally get that out in this game was just amazing to see because Gabriel Sara, his form has just been better and better for each game. So, and he is just a beautiful player to watch. I mean, probably one of the finest players we got right now with his brain, his runs without the ball, his foot. It is just amazing to see, and that he didn't give up. You know, many players could have wanted a transfer, wanted to go out of the club, but Gabriel Sara didn't give up and he worked hard, and every time he came on, he did well. When he started, he played well, and his form just went up, and now he's very good. I'm just so happy for Gabriel Sara, and he is in the Champions League, the Brazilian who has created most chances ahead of Vinicius. So, and that's pretty crazy if you're thinking about how many minutes he has played. He has not played every game, especially not 90 minutes. And people will say, yeah, the set pieces. But again, that's other Brazilians who are taking them as well. So, just very happy for Gabriel Sara. The few players I'm mentioning right now, it could have been every players. Torreira played fantastic. Finally, he was at his best again. Davinson Sanchez was very good. Noah Lang. The thing about Noah Lang, I would talk about him when I'm talking about Yunus. I think that's better. But another player we need to talk about is Baris Alper. And again, I won't show these clips where he is taking the whole Juventus team with him. He's doing it here as well, but where he's dribbling and getting, getting players out, yellow cards, free kicks. Just a amazing game by Baris Alper. But the thing I really got a bit surprised with, not surprised because he can do it, but where what I was really happy to see, what was how much he was able to keep the ball. Look, here it is, 3 Juventus players around him. Normally, Baris Alper, he did it in this game as well, but much more times he kept the ball. In this situation, he played it back to Sallai. He turned back and played to Sallai. It's not even easy to turn back here and play to Sallai. He started with that in the game. And that's so important when you're a winger, that you doesn't lose it all the time and that you are playing it easily when you can. So for me, that's something I'm really glad Baris Alper did. Of course, he defensively, when he took down Kenan Yıldız, attacking wise, he was just enormous, Baris Alper. And this was his breakthrough game as well in the Champions League, if you ask me. It was good against Liverpool, getting a penalty and so on. But in this game, he was just a threat. The whole game, he was amazing, Baris Alper. And for example, before the 3-2 goal, when Noah Lang scored on Baris Alper, when the ball was rebounded by their keeper. What Baris Alper is doing there first is that he's playing it to Sallai. So he tries to cross, and then Torreira is winning the header into Baris Alper. But my point is that Baris Alper, right from the start in that situation, he played back to Sallai when he tried to cross. And that's something I'm really glad to see. And the thing with Baris Alper as well, I like him more as a right winger. It is more natural for him to run behind the defense. It's more natural for him to take the ball up with him. As a left winger, he struggles to control the ball. He struggles to use his pace, I think. Just much more in general like him as a winger, as a right winger, because then he's more up to the easy stuffs. As a left winger, when he tries to dribble, wants the ball in his feet all the time, he's not good enough on those terms. But when it comes to the right winger, running in space, take the ball up with him with his right foot. Because the thing, when you're left foot, when you're going, not left foot, but the left winger and taking the ball with you, you need to be more technical, as Noah Lang, for example. But another player we need to talk about is, of course, Osimhen. Again, I won't take the repeating myself. Osimhen was involved in 3 goals that he mainly created by himself. The first goal, taking the ball from Kenan Yıldız. Noah Lang's goal, where he is winning it from Kelly. And Sasha Boy's goal. Sasha Boy, this is for you. Anyway, Sasha Boy's goal, where Leroy Sané is trying to pass it to Osimhen. Osimhen is trying to go behind the defense, but then he reacts quickly and win that 50-50 against Kelly. Osimhen was just enormous in this game, and it is 3 goals we're talking about. That's the thing. It's not even normal to create 1 goal by yourself in today's football, but Osimhen does this frequently. How many times could they have done it against Liverpool, against Ajup, in this game, in just so many games, Bodø/Glimt game, where he is just winning it alone and scoring a goal, giving an assist. But okay, forget the goals. Look here. Look at this situation, please. Look at Osimhen in the red circle here. Juventus are attacking. And look just who is tracking back. So Sallai gets the help against Kenan Yildiz. So it's not one versus one, but 2 versus 1. It is Osimhen who tracked back here. It is just, I am blown away by Osimhen. For me, he doesn't need to score if he's playing like this. I mean it. This is just unbelievable. It's unbelievable to see that from a striker. And of course, he's creating chances, playing people like Noah Lang, so he's an open goal. But these kind of things is just unbelievable. For me, Osimhen played a fantastic game. So I'm just, this was mind blowing for me, to be honest. And of course, the 3 goals he just created from almost zero. And of course, on Noah Lang's goal, where it rebounds on from Baris to Noah Lang, the player on the back post is Osimhen with Kalulu. The way Kalulu is attached to Osimhen, so he can't take the rebounds on Noah Lang there. It is just so important by Osimhen to be there, because he's also holding him a bit, not making any free kick, but like it is like a normal duel where he's just holding him so Kalulu can't take that rebounds. Osimhen is just a gem for us, man. He's a fantastic player. Again, I could have talked about every player on the field that played great, but one player I'm a bit disappointed with, and that's Yunus Akgün. You see he's got the ball there. First of all, I had a live reaction after the game where I said everybody played great, but Yunus Akgün was weak. And yes, Yunus Akgün, he had many weak involvements. This is a situation. First of all, I don't think he played as bad as I first thought. He won the ball many times. He was very good in the pressure against Locatelli. So many, it was like 2-3 times he as well won the ball by his own. Here he took the ball up with him, and we remember when they played it too early on Osimhen. Yunus Akgün, the thing with him, and this is something he needs to learn. Look at Noah Lang. In the first half, he lost the ball so many times, and that's okay. It is so okay, but he just kept going, didn't lose confidence, just played on, got that chance, scored, got another chance, scored. He just keeps going. Yunus Akgün is missing one-on-one pass. You see it really goes into him. He's looking on the ground, he's sad. He is going out of the game for 5 minutes, don't want the ball in some situations. Yunus Akgün needs to be much more stronger mentally, because he got the skills. It is no doubt about that. Yes, he's not the strongest physically like we saw in this game. That's not Noah Lang either. So Yunus Akgün really needs to step up when it comes to the mentality. It almost looks like he's afraid of Osimhen, and that's not a good thing to be if you're a football player. So Yunus Akgün, please, you need to be much better mentally. That's the thing. I don't care if you miss on 1, 2 passes, 3 passes, but when it really see it on him that he is getting affected by it, and that he's just going out of the game mentally wise, that's not a good thing. Look at Noah Lang. He didn't play his greatest game, but he kept going. He scored 2 goals. And I'm so glad what Noah Lang said after the game, that this was not my best game. I talked with my dad on the phone after the first half, and I said like, yes, Dad, Yunus Akgün is not playing good, but look at Noah Lang as well. He don't play good in this game. He losing the possession. He struggles with his passes, but he's keep going, keep trying, keep going, wants the ball. While you see it from another planet that Yunus Akgün doesn't want to be on the field. So that's a bit sad, of course. And when we're talking about Yunus Akgün, the fans was amazing. They were incredible. I need to take my hat off that, because when Yunus Akgün got subbed out, no one booed. They even applauded him when he did mistakes. The fans were incredible, and they applauded when we were down. The fans was amazing, and the atmosphere was just, I really wished I had been there, because that was just amazing to watch that from the TV. Just, yeah, proud to be a Galatasaray fan. Really proud in these moments when we are winning in Europe. Not only, don't look at the result, look at how we played. We were amazing. Amazing against a very, very strong team. If someone is telling you otherwise, that's a lie. Juventus is a very, very strong team. Yes, Davids was injured, but then you're just putting on Coop Miners, who you bought for 50 million euros or what it was. Maybe I'm wrong in my numbers right now. And then McKennie is up on top. They have some world-class players. Locatelli is the highest rated player in Serie A at the moment from SofaScore. I know stats isn't everything. In the Champions League, he got the second highest rating as a defensive midfielder. I know, again, that stats ain't everything, but Locatelli against Inter, against Atalanta, he was just amazing. And then you see today how amazing our team as collective as well played, and didn't let any of their players show their strength. Kenan Yıldız, how many times was he able to take the ball up with him and face towards our goal? And how many times could Baris Alper, for example, do that? Compare those two situations. How Okan Hoca let Baris Alper get his face towards Juventus goal, and then look at how Spalletti tried to get Kenan Yıldız to get his face towards our goals, because that's when the wingers are at their very best. That's why it was you need to also give huge creds to Okan Hoca. When we are criticizing him and things are going bad, us fans are the first to say, Okan Hoca, what are you doing, blah blah blah. But when things are going well, as it often does, we need to give huge creds to Okan Hoca, as today. Let's talk about the Konyaspor game. I just put out the 11 there. I think we're going to start with Uğurcan Çakır in goal, Sasha Boye, Davinson Sanchez, Singo, Eren, Ilkay, Lemina, Leroy Sané, Yunus, Asprilla, Icardi. And people will say, yeah, but Naga needs to play in front before Gundogan. That won't happen. We know that. It's not something I don't want. I want Naga to play as much as possible. I'm not saying that, but it's not realistic. I think that can be realistic is that Ilkay is going up as at 10, and then Naga is going down as a central midfielder, or Kaan Ayhan. I don't know. I just put out 11 there. Why I put Yunus here is because maybe he's not going to start against Juventus away. I don't know. Davinson Sanchez, why I started with him is because you can't just change the whole team. You can do it. We have a good depth in our squad right now, but this is even too much, if you ask me, to change the whole team. I don't know if this is going to happen, but I'm pretty sure that Sasha Boy, Singo, Eren, Lemina, Ilkay, Leroy Sané is going to play. If Osimhen is going to play, or who else on the left winger, or I don't know. But please don't start with 2 strikers. That would be a huge risk. We did it against Konyaspor. The thing is, we won 3-0 against Ajax, but that was away and then going to straight away to another away game. That's very difficult, of course. Now, we luckily played home first and then going to Konya. But anyway, it's very tough to play Champions League and then the league game. My point is that everything is in Galatasaray's heads if this is going to be a fun game or a very tough game. And it is understandable that their mentality is, they're mentally somewhere else. But anyway, who is going to start, I don't know. But if it really depends on who is fit, who are not in the injury risk. If Davinson Sanchez has some sore legs or whatever, Abdulkarim are going to start there, or I don't know. Or if Okan Hoxha really wants to play with the strongest 11 that are available, because Okan Hoxha knows that Anadolu teams away, especially teams like Konya, we took the Konyaspor a bit for granted, unfortunately. But he should know that it will be tough. And I don't want to jinx this, but Konyaspor has not won in 12 league games. Yes, they have won in the cup and friendlies, but they are not won in 12 league games and are fighting for relegation. And for every game you are not winning, you are closer to winning your next game, obviously. But it's going to be very difficult, I think, because this is a game where Konya probably feel like they have all to win, and they have got a new manager again, Ilal Palotu. So where Chada Shatan got fired, so they're trying to do something different there. But if our players are ready mentally, we should win this. So that was it, guys. I hope you guys liked this video. Hit the like button, subscribe button, comment down below what you think about this video, and can't wait to see you guys. Bye.